So we're going to take the muck and we're going to make worm bedding. Stay tuned. Hey, what's up YouTube, fish tube and fish fam? This is Rob with the Freeze Aquariums. Today I'm coming to you with a video on recharging or rehabbing or refreshing your worm cultures. So I went out and I grabbed under $7 and get this. I got this particular brand at PetSmart. And what it is compressed coconut husks. In my last video I had spoke about needing to dry out some of the media in my other cultures, as well as add some media that didn't have enough in it. So as you see there, this definitely needs to be refreshed or rehabbed. There are some in there, but I'm going to for whatever reason it's really been retaining moisture, as have my other ones. This one not so bad, but look inside it how crazy that's taken off all these worms. So I'm going to take this one because this seems to be one of the better cultures, and this one I started December 3rd. I'm going to take these guys a bunch out and move them to the new media. So for the sake of time, basically cut out hole for ventilation as well as to keep the mites and stuff out. So I took the brick out, definitely solid, and this particular compressed coconut fiber can be used for hermit crabs, tropical lizards, snakes, temperate snakes, amphibians, arachnids, and dry climates, that's wet climates, and for dry climate desert reptiles. So pretty versatile. But with this, what you need to do is get yourself a big bowl, and I'm just talking about trying to get some fresh media down for the white worms because some of them are wet. You have to add 4 quarts of water to this, let it sit for about 20-25 minutes, and then as it starts to come apart, crumple it up, and then I can finish what I'm doing. Fingers crossed that's not going to get too wet. So with this one, as you can see, there are some worms in there. They're actually doing well. There is a bunch right in here, but it definitely needs more media. This one is not as damp. I did have an issue with mites a couple of weeks ago, and I've kind of been misting and flipping it, which is probably one of the reasons that it's a lot more wetter than it should be. And anytime I saw a mite start to crawl out to fly away, I'd kill it. Hindsight is, if I could have caught him, I could have threw him in the fish tank and a fish would eat him, but I didn't want to take the chance of going from here into where my tanks are and having it take off somewhere. So by doing that, I'm going to be able to take this, dry that out a little bit, take some of the worms from both cultures that are doing well and move them into the other one. This one that's doing well, you can see them on the lid, and you can see them in there. This one though, there's some moisture in here. I think maybe there might be a little bit too much. They're definitely moving around. Oh, and there went some right on my coffee mug. Want some added protein with your coffee? Oh well, it's got to be washed anyway. Definitely little guy. He'll get to live another day. I saved him. So Those are actual Grindal worms. And this was a culture started back on December 3rd. Again, from Farrell Fish and More, Bree's fish fan. And the other two I showed you, those are actual white worms. So we're going to come back to this. I'm actually soaking up a lot of the water really quick. You can see it was filled almost to the rim. See something crazy if I can pick this up without... Oh! The brick that was this big, there's another one in the water the same size. When I went to go pick it up to show you, it actually broke apart. Broke right in half. But there you go. Look how much that has swollen up. But it's fallen apart nicely. And you can see I just pulled off a piece, how dry that was in the center. Hindsight, I probably should have threw this in a pail. So it's been just about 40 minutes, and out of 4 quarts of water, you can see it's pretty much sucked it all up from the bowl. It's actually quite flaky, still damp, so at this point, you know, I'm going to continue to break it up and then squeeze out the excess and put it into the containers. All right. So there are 2 new beds all ready to go. So I'm going to take a bunch out like so. And I'm going to put those in the middle of the substrate media bedding. Okay, so there is another culture all started, and there's quite a few worms. And as you can see, they're starting to dig their way down. I'm going to take the Grindals and I think they're going to do a lot better once I get them out of this, because this is really damp. So there's a bunch of Grindals. Grindals are a lot smaller than the white worms. But if I was to take that clump and stick it in water, there would have to be 50 to 100, if not more, of these Grindals. This population will do well to have some of them taken out and put into a little bit drier substrate. Here's a nice nucleus of more worms. So there they are in their new home. Got to get this done before my girlfriend gets home, because this is her popcorn bowl that I'm using. So when we're sitting around watching movies on the weekends, when she does get home, I don't think she'd be too happy seeing that I was using it for coconut bedding. Alright, so let's squeeze out the excessive water. Once this is done, it's actually a moist substrate now, or bedding. So with that, I'll be able to top off the rest of these containers, cover up some of the cultures that are already in there. And then this way too, being that I've wrung out the water, some of this drier media will hopefully absorb some of the moisture from what's already in there, from the existing cultures that I had already started. So as you see from the 3, there is a decent amount of bedding in here now. Alright, so we are finished with the new cultures. Like I said in my other video, you can use dog food biscuit or dog food, dry dog food on there with some yogurt. I'm actually just going to use this piece, cover it up. Just think that here in a few months, it all started from this little bin right here. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different cultures of worms, Grindals, whites, all from 2 separate cultures. So for the money invested in this, everyday usage, I just happen to have the black meshes around. Look at these guys, they're crawling all over. Whoop. Uh-oh. Don't want them in there. I don't want this culture to turn into one giant one. But as I was saying, had the stuff laying around, had the containers laying around, you know, a couple bucks at a swap, as well as taking a trip to go see Faro Fish and More to pick up some more cultures. You know, I have a sustainable live food to feed my fish, and when they start breeding, I'll actually have even more to feed the babies, which the Grindal worms are ideal. It's definitely a win-win situation when it comes to sustainable food sources, saving you some money. And as I say in every video, I'm all about saving money. So with that, I have a nice new bed, which is going to allow the worms to expand and hopefully make plenty of more worms. So, pretty simple to do. So 3 cultures, I've got 2, 5, 7 cultures going. And as you saw, to start a culture and actually kind of rejuvenate a culture, it only took a few minutes. So I would definitely say go out, and if you just find somebody selling cultures, take a look for Thrive, a Wonder World of Thrive, tropical natural compressed coconut fiber bedding. You could probably find it just about anywhere, compressed, uncompressed. This again, as you saw in the beginning of the video, was compressed, 4 quarts of water. I would suggest do it in a pail, not your girlfriend's popcorn bowl. And put in your 4 quarts of water, let it sit for a half an hour or so, squeeze it out, put it into some sort of container, take your culture, put it in the center, put your food source over the center, whatever that would be, and start your cultures and have an ongoing supply of food for your fish. Definitely, you know that you're giving your fish something good. You're not giving them fillers and, you know, all that stuff that they don't need. And, you know, a key to a healthy fish is a healthy diet. And so with that, I want to thank you all for stopping by. With that, as always, keep those sleeves wet, take care of you, take care of each other, love one another, support one another. Till next time, this is Rob with the Freeze Aquariums. Peace!